Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's hope it works. If someone could record, Loki is like Sim in here. Who's in here that could record? Nah, Simple's not here. If someone doesn't like mind recording for me, just in case, that would be nice. Just in case. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started anyways. So, yeah, so go ahead and flood in the chat. Do you want me to do like a recap of today or something? What do you guys want to start with? Recap? Okay, we'll start with indices or what? And then we'll move to like gold, because that's where I took my trade personally. Let's go with why you just can't take indices, bro. It's hard to do, right? So, like, you legit can't touch indices, in my opinion. I mean, this can be the quickest recap of all time. It's literally until YM reaches the overall, like, relevant level, you know? I saw a ton of people shorting this. Maybe not a ton of people, but definitely some people for sure. They were shorting this SMT. Anyone know why we can't do this? Like, although we might have, you know, advanced pre discount, we might have a draw here. Like, I don't care. Like, I know it's so obvious. Like, NQ wants to go lower, but like, anyone know why you can't do this? Who can tell me? Yeah, it's failure swings, right? Like, it could easily just break, and then you're cooked on NQ, right? So it's like, this is a failure swing here. It's like creating a failure swing. This is already a failure swing, I would say. So this is not even a relevant level to have SM2 to begin with, you know? And then it's obviously it's creating failure swings here, but this is not even relevant either because of this high, you know? So you got to wait. It's a lot of waiting. You got a lot of patience. This is obviously consolidation, right? You just want to wait for the consolidation high to get manipulated. Then I would consider trading YM lower, you know? It's unfortunate because you know, it has a great expansion lower and all that, but you just literally, I can't trade. If you're trying to learn how I trade, like I gotta have all assets to make sense to go lower. Like they all have to make sense to go lower. And obviously YM does not. I mean, this is why we come back higher, right? It's because there is no established high of day over here, and it does the same thing, dude. Literally the same thing. Like we create SMT again, right? But then we're leaving this failure swing here. So I literally wouldn't touch indices all New York session. There's nothing to take, in my opinion. So that's literally my recap on on indices. It's pretty simple, man. Yeah. Even if there's like, even if there is failures, like strength switch here, I don't really care. The only way I would maybe trust the trader with this is some sort of continuation, guys. Like wait for a gap, and then you know lagging asset to one of these lows or something. And like you could say we maybe get that here. It's like right here. So this is not a strength switch, but it's like right here. It's just like whatever. I don't know. Like you could say this, bro, I guess. Because there is a reason for YM to continue, not YM, NQ to continue lower, has equal lows down here and whatnot, but yeah, I don't know. It's like whatever, I guess. I don't even know if there's, yeah, I'm just not taking this, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't care if it works in hindsight. I don't care, dude. I'm not taking it. You know, I'm good off that. But yeah, I mean, the only way I would ever do that is fade these is like continuation, like wait for a gap to show me it's gonna reverse, and then you know strength switch to catch up to one of the lows. You know, that's like the only way. But even that's just not ideal. But yeah, I mean, I'd rather you know YM take this high, and then I could trust it. You know, then I could trade the potential resync or something. But other than that, like it's just no trade. Does that make sense, everyone? It's pretty simple. Can you always tell us to take the first CST, but when waiting for a PSP after SMT, we often miss the first CST. How can you miss the first CST? That's impossible. Like, what do you mean? If it's already a PSP. Oh, like, are you talking about? So you're not trading the reversal candle, right? So you're not like if this is a PSP right here. You know, let me just try to draw this. Oh no, let's just do this. if this is a PSP as an expansion candle, you know, we take out the high, for example, open, high, low, that's the first CST. But I think you're talking about, you know, if if this is the reversal candle, for example, like this. Yeah, obviously there's going to be probably a CSD up in here already. So you would probably take this when you create the SMT like that. You know, this would create a C3. The other asset's creating a C2. Is that what you're asking? You're gonna, you know, some way take it like right here when it creates the wick, right? Something like that. So which is technically the second CSD, I guess you could say. But yeah, you could anticipate the VST to form and like just market execute and put your stop loss somewhere like higher in the range. You know, you could technically do that. If this is a C2 candle, you know, you look back within this candle's range or whatever, right? Maybe there is a, on the lower time frame, maybe you look like this, for example, right? Maybe it looks like this CSD here. Maybe you want to just enter when price opens high or something into like a gap or whatever in anticipation of a SMT forming and then it going lower. Like you could do that. Is it just the high being manipulated that needs to be a relevant high or both assets? Yeah, I mean, both assets need to be able to reverse. This is why you want symmetrical highs and lows, guys. So they're both like relevant levels. When you have like this happening where it's like one asset is taking out, you know, a relevant high or something, but on the other asset, it just looks like this or something, like some weird, like let's say on this asset, you know, this high is this high, for example. It's weird, right? It's because it's not really the same highs that are relevant, you know what I'm saying? But in consolidation, that's what happens, dude. You have like SMT everywhere, so super unsymmetrical highs, lows, and that's what we see here. You know, there's literally SMT everywhere you look. You know, I shorted the gold in London from 4-hour gap fill, but it failed because yeah, we're gonna go over that. Is this 90-minute setup valid? Okay, this is a 90-minute. Okay, so same reason is because of YM not take out this high. If a YM took out the high, absolutely. That'd be all 4 shorts. It's just an easy skip day, man. Was there a 4-hour gap fill this PM for ES to catch up? Couldn't find entry. Let's see. I mean, technically, right here. But this is where like, look at YM. Like this is where YM ideally this high right here took out the overall high. You know, that'd be perfect, dude. Like that's a really nice sequence that happens. It's an advanced pre-discount sequence where one asset takes out a range high, one asset fills a gap, while the other asset does not fill the gap. That's a really good sequence, but unfortunately you don't get it because this falls short of the overall high. So that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Now we're about to go over it. What do you think about the YM short just before 12? There was a string switch. Okay, I didn't look at RTY yet. Let's go look at RTY real quick. Oh, like RTY shorts maybe? This is a strength switch. Did RTY get there? I mean, maybe. Okay, so you're saying this is it? Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, some sort of continuation is like the only acceptable thing, right? This asset takes out these lows. You see there's SMT literally everywhere there? Like, this profile is absolute shit. Where's the open at? The open's right here or something. It's right here. Like seek and destroy, we're already in consolidation, so it's just it's hard, bro. Like I wouldn't ever call this A plus, but you know, if we're gonna catch up to, I guess this low or like these lows or whatever, even though they're not created at the same time or anything like that. I mean, potentially, bro, potentially. But I would literally only go for like 2R, dude. Probably. I would risk less and only go for 2R on shit like this. And you're gonna see why. Like I literally use the same logic for my gold trade, dude. I'm pretty pissed because I only made like 3R, but it's okay because I shorted silver. But you're gonna see why I only took 3R. I just wasn't that confident in the narrative, and I de-risked. Can we anticipate the coupling with the driver? Maybe you could have anticipated that, but it just wouldn't have played out. Let's actually look at that real quick. Where's 930 at? 930. 930 is right here. That's like potentially like, I guess, bro. Maybe could have, but it's pretty advanced. But I mean, I would assume if price is decoupling, I'm not gonna lie, I would probably assume that's gonna happen. But it didn't decouple actually. It's actually never decoupled, honestly. Yeah, it didn't even decouple. If this shit just started expanding lower and this one started expanding higher, then yeah, but there was no decoupling, honestly. Like they're both moving lower, you know. There's not really any decoupling. It's not really how a decoupling looks, to be honest with you. But that could have been an idea. You wanted to see just start ripping though in opposite directions, you know? Lower time frames, it's easy to get lost in the noise and start chasing moves. How do you maintain the discipline and clarity? Yeah, so once you have a universal model, it's all about having a universal model because that gives you a key level to reverse from and a draw liquidity, right? And literally, we just set invalidation points. It's in the course on how to find these key levels to literally wait for, and if they don't get hit, you are doing nothing, like literally nothing. And that's the hardest part, dude, is doing nothing, like literally. Um, it's really easy to start forcing stuff and just be like, oh, I'm only gonna target this because it's low probability or something. Dude, even that you think that you can do these things, you just can't. You know, it's gonna be really hard. You think you can trade counter trend or something or what blah blah blah. Yeah, it's gonna be extremely hard. You just gotta wait for these things to get hit. But yeah, the course or even my last lecture on invalidations covers this pretty well, I'd say. It'll literally answer this exact question. If you're trading a daily C3, is a single stage SMT enough? Or do you still want two stage? At the high of day, it'll be two stage always. Is SMT fill? Oh yeah, wait. Okay, I don't like doing this, to be honest, bro. I'm not the biggest fan of using fair value gaps like this, like just higher in the range and stuff like that. I'm really not, honestly. This one's fine. This one's not, in my opinion. Like you want it to be like very close proximity gaps like this. When you start looking way to the left and stuff like that, I just want to see one solid fair value gap. You see there's like two fair value gaps here? Like I want to see the 90-minute or like, you know, the 4-hour, for example. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I like to do it. Because if you start using fair value gaps way to the left anywhere and everywhere, yeah, it's gonna go bad. There's gonna be SMTs everywhere. It's ideally just the first fair value gap, bro. You know, as soon as we start to like, you see this fair value gap how it gets left open. As soon as you start to expand away and create new lows, automatically not relevant to me anymore. To be honest with you, unless I see it on the higher time frame. Would you enter this? When was this? So you have the 4-hour universal model potentially. You have a not a strength twist, it's just a 2-stage. I mean, that reverse signature looks really nice, man. I would say. I would like to see the other assets, but yeah, I mean, looks okay from this. You can at least just target ERL, IRL, you know? Since the wick is pretty large, it looks like. So you can target this IRL, honestly. ERL, IRL, that's your universal model. Your 2-stage. The 4-hour supports it. The daily doesn't, necessarily. The wick is pretty large. So you just want to be conservative about that. But I like the reverse signature a lot. Looks actually pretty fire. I just like to see V shapes and gaps, and then yeah, that continuation off that is pretty sick. It just skipped me like back. Can you go over London PA on indices? Okay, I wouldn't be considering London NPA or London session, right? Because look where look at where YM is at, you know. YM still has these highs. ES still has these highs. You legit can't do it. You can't trade this. I guess London over here took it out, right? But this asset still has these highs. So it's really not that clean to me. Like this is like not even that relevant of a level, bro. Honestly, like this is just so bad, bro. Like you see how like this high is like low key not even that relevant. I don't know. It's like kind of mid, honestly. But YM is just bullshitting, dude. Like just straight bullshitting. Yeah, I'm not a fan, bro. Really just not. I don't even see like an SMT like for London session. London opens right here. There's no SMT anyways, right? Yeah, not really, bro. We'd all take this high. But yeah, I'd want to see YM take that. Like I really would. Well, I would start to apply just the basics, right? First, all this SMT stuff, and you know, I wouldn't even worry about accessing, bro. Like until you get down the basics, right? If you try to throw all in once, yeah, it's gonna be really confusing, like super confusing. You know, focus on the basic stuff, right? Like phase of price, profiling, um, aligning expansion candles, universal models, all that stuff. Like that's the core foundation of like literally everyone's trading basically. Um, and then we're just applying basically asset sync just to break SMTs. It's a continuation type of thing. And then there's just confirmations, right? SMTs is confirmation to what you're already doing, basically. So I would mainly don't backtest, bro, until you understand it, you know? Like go back in hindsight and then make sure you understand these things. Like look at reversals and then try to mark everything out, right? Is there 2-stage here at the reversal? It'll like train your brain and your eyes to see things. Because if you don't know how to put together already and you try to backtest, it's gonna be really confusing. It's actually gonna be really, really hard. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't like any indices trades. Any indices trades, bro. For me personally, long, shorts, nah. I legit can't do it. I just wouldn't take it. It's just horrible price action, bro. For me and my trading style. Is there any scenario where you would short low of day or long high of day? Yeah, it's when you have you're gonna trade from a gap, right? Ideally on the hourly above. You just need a close draw on liquidity. That's all it's about, really. You need a super close draw. So you don't use a 6-hour time frame other than QT opens? Yeah, exactly, really. It's mainly for trading lagging assets, bro. Like, because the wick will be like too large for a lagging asset, and then that 6-hour will open, and that's like the trigger for the resync. It's especially for indices at 12 p.m. Like, for example, the leading asset will expand into the 6 a.m. candle, and the lagging asset will create maybe a 10 a.m. reversal because it's lagging, but the real expansion in the 10 a.m. candle will happen at 12. So would you recommend setting? Oh, absolutely, bro. That's literally what I do. I literally just set alerts at key levels. Because what else are you supposed to do? You know. But here on GBP we had like a double string switch. What would you think about this? Okay, so yeah, this gap here I wouldn't really use, to be honest. I'm gonna show you what I thought was relevant here, and that's using silver, honestly. Personally, it's the same, literally the same thing though. Like there's a trade here potentially. What's going on here? It's like, yep, this as well. I think I answered your question, by the way. I feel like I answered that question. I don't know what this like glitch is going on here. That's weird. The one I tried to talk about this morning, I entered around 50-ish in the 5-minute gap just before the Q4 opened. Both R2 might be shaped. Okay, yeah, so you're using okay, at the reversal, it's a bit hard. It's a bit hard for me to trust, I'm not gonna lie, personally. Just because we just created these failure swings. Man, if we took the high out, I would be like, hell yeah, bro. You know? I would really love it. But if you're asking me, you know, I just would avoid it. I just like wait for like clean stuff usually. Yep, I'm gonna talk about gold in a second here. Let's catch up. Gary, before using PSP and all these as a used to trade before. Yeah, like literally everything that I already use, just without two-stage. I always required SMT though. And that's the key. It's not the two-stage that's like enigma. It's like the framework and being patient for like solid stuff to all align and stuff. Like profiling, like putting all these things together, like the basic stuff is like the sauce, you know what I'm saying? Two-stage is just found at almost every reversal, so like why wouldn't you use it? Just an added filter, that's all it is. When you're looking for a strength switch, SMT or SMT, while candle's forming, do you confirm it before the candle closes? So you can only do that if you have consecutive candle SMT, like maybe SMT to the key level, taking out a high, and then consecutive candle SMT, not taking out the previous candle's high, like that. While the other asset, you know, didn't hit the key level, but then it takes out the previous candle's high, which is creating a C2. You can only do it then. Because if you have SMT with the key level, but none of the consecutive candle SMT, you don't have a two-stage yet until the candle closes, which is going to be a PSP. I don't think so. I wouldn't take this. What do you think about strength just M30 SMG break? I wouldn't even, guys. I literally would not touch anything on indices. Like I'm not even joking. Like I look at it in like 10 minutes on the open, and I would be like, yeah, I'm done. I would just set alert on why I'm high. That's it. It's legit that simple. I was going through the full process video. I have a question about invalidation points and moving the goalpost. When we come to the charts, if we have a reversal to expansion candle out of a gap on the hourly time frame, like this pick below, can we trade it? And what would there be an invalidation point in this scenario? Oh, like, so the key level and your validation point, that's where you're gonna be. If you're gonna trade this candle, you would need like SMT, right? Maybe the invalidation point for, are you talking about candle 3? It would just be the whole candle, the whole candle's range. And ideally you want an objective available still. I think that's what you're saying. Maybe. But yeah, the key level for like the C2 candle would be the invalidation level. Now, as soon as you create the CSD to confirm the C2 candle, that's your new invalidation level, essentially, right? Because if this is going to become an expansion candle, CSD needs to hold, you know? Yeah, but once you get the closure, right, it's the C2 candle's range, really, is your invalidation level. And you just need a new key level to be printed After the swing formation gets created from a key level, it's going to create new key levels. You got to wait for that. And then that's your new invalidation level, essentially. All right, this is insane. There's nothing to go over for NDC shorts. I already went over it. I wouldn't trade it until YM takes the over high. I wouldn't take anything, bro. Personally, I know there's some like failure swing SMT that held, and it could have been a win. Just not for me, bro. I'm pretty consistent with what I tried to take and stuff. Is your advanced lecture with Asset Sync where you talk about advanced pre-discount? Yeah. I mean, it could be a strategy in itself. Essentially, yeah. There's a lot of things you can make your own, bro. Like you can maybe only trade when the high base form from a 4-hour C2. You're trading C3 and C4 or something. You could maybe only trade when there's literally an unestablished high day. One of my students does this. He only trades when there's an extremely clear profile where it like literally opens low first, and he'll only take a trade when it does that if he's bullish, and vice versa. Because it's super simple, you know. Okay, I need to catch up. Like, we need to get to this gold recap pretty soon. If the 9 a.m. 1 hour / 90 minute candle is huge and the drawing is nearby, can I fade the 1? So the 9 a.m. 90 minute candle is like not so relevant because you're gonna have the what's it called? The driver within there, like 930 driver. Like that volatility, you know, can expand any candle, to be honest with you. Like pretty much could. So like the best candles to fade is the 6-hour, 4-hour candle and that 90-minute candle typically because that's when you have the driver, you know. It's just like you can fade like any candle. Technically you can, but it's like super like specific, right? Like has to form the low of day, the only area for it to reverse, and you just follow by your stop loss, you know. But yeah, you can. My Discord glitches because not updated. That maybe, bro. This right here. Oh, dude, that's actually a good point, dude. I'll do that right after this. Time window where you'd avoid trading gold. Yeah, like probably like 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. like those 2 hours. The gold or the not the gold. The kill zone is like 8 a.m. typically. But I was going through the course and had a few questions about failure swings. So on NQ we had failure swings, but we falling down gaps. So would it be valid to look for shorts to trade away from failure swings? Yeah, you can always do that. Like when you have failure swing SMT, it's really the failure swing SMT, guys, where you have one asset taking out a high, and the other asset is creating like failure swing SMT. Like this is what the main thing about the course is, like when to fade this. You wait for gaps and stuff. Not so much this. Like I don't really want to teach this, to be honest, where there's literally like no SMT here, right? Where it's just failure swings. Like I don't really want to fade that just because there's a gap here. The only way I'll do this, bro, this is the main reason the main way I'll do this is where, you know, you have both assets creating failure swings or whatever, but one asset reaches a low, for example, and then we have a gap, and then you get a strength switch, you know, to catch up to that same low. So it's like asset sync. Like, you know, it's a low probable scenario, but waiting for a high probable, you know, like, I guess scenario, I guess, you know, like low probable, but waiting for like high probable confirmation or something, you know. That's like how I would do it, but it's just not something like you should be focusing on, I feel like. I think you guys want to trade every day, like every single scenario, when that's just not the move. If you had to start with 0 again with prop firms, how would you do it? Like if I had 0 money, job. Yeah, I was saying like if I had to start completely over, like I was broke and all that. Yeah, you need to work a job for sure. But you're gonna start with one prop firm. You're gonna get 50K account, probably lucid trading. I mean, we're skipping a lot of steps here, but I mean, yeah, get your first payout. I would request immediately, like immediately, right? Probably $500 minimum though. I would request like $500, and then I would instantly probably buy 2 to 3 more accounts, something like that. If not, just 5, right? And I would do it again. I'd go for $50 or $500 again, and then I would do another firm. Like literally, a lot of people try to they want to get these max payouts. They want to build all these buffers and shit. Why? I don't understand that honestly. You're not like a consistent trader yet. You know, go for $500, but do it on like multiple. Dude, do it on like 20 accounts, $500. You do the math there, dude. You're trying to take the hard way out. You're trying to like build these huge buffers on like one account. We could just go for like the minimum payout on like 30 accounts. You know what I'm saying? Like make it easy on yourself. It's just all about mind. Like, it's all about the mental aspect of it, where people are like scared to have 30 accounts and trade it all on, you know. But you could literally just risk less, and then withdraw quicker, you know. That's my take on it. Maybe go for like $1,000 buffer, not like a freaking like motherfuckers want like $4,000 buffers or something like crazy. Like, no, man, just get like 1,000. Are we saying that's unachievable? Absolutely not, because you literally made $3,000 to even pass the account, as long as you're doing it right. You know, that's why I always say like try to pass an account the right way, because that's going to give you confidence going into the funded stage. You know. Anyways, guys, I can't get to all these real quick. We're gonna go to silver and gold. I'll show you what I took. You ready for that? Trade copia for trade copier. You ready for silver and gold? Trade copia earnings are fake, because don't trust people that LARP shit on there. You can't fucking withdraw that shit. If I make $100,000 in my trade copia, how much are you really withdrawing though? Like, there's payout caps. You ain't withdrawing that shit. You can't withdraw all that. So stupid as fuck. I hate when people do that. Anyways, let's go over here. So this is like a weird scenario. I wouldn't call this A+. I always teach you guys to trade. I always teach you guys to trade a 4-hour and above universal model, right? That's what I teach you guys to take, right? Now here is kind of interesting scenario. I wanted this day to go lower, right? This day in particular, right here, and it kind of didn't really do that. It did on silver, right? And that was from this SMT here, and it's with GPP triad, or not GP, like these assets here. I just don't like SMTs with the current high week and low week when there's no wick or it's a gap. I just don't trust it, to be honest. But obviously the lows are looking good. Like coming to the week, after Monday expands, obviously the lows are looking juicy, right? Clearly, you know. We know we have an SMT fill up here. It's just expansion away from it. It's just not that clean, right? We had this. This is also awkward too. Like coming into Monday, it's also kind of weird because you have a 2-stage, but look where you're kind of opening up the day. You're like opening up the day here. It's just like I wouldn't expect this to hold, to be honest. Like technically, yeah, you have like SMT here or whatever. I just want to really expect to hold because this asset's so close to it. But we just gap lower anyway, so it was just kind of weird. I don't really know where to be bullish or bearish. You can't really say, honestly, because when I actually look at this reversal, guys, it doesn't really look that good. You know, this 2 stage up here, does this really look like expansion to you? Not really, dude. Looks like retracement. So I wasn't really too one-sided, really. It's kind of hard to say. I was like almost potentially bullish, but obviously when it gaps like this, like throw that shit out the window. Literally in the first minute of the day, and we just expanded really. And yeah, this is where I wanted to maybe see this day here. This day could have been bearish. It was not bearish. We came all the way back up. And I can't long this day either because, I mean, what are we coming off of? Nothing. So the only thing internal to this level, I mean, it technically is only this previous high, you know? That's like the only thing. But you can see this day here was not the best price action, you know? It's like, does this really look like a reversal signature? Not really, bro. There's SMTs everywhere at all these highs. But what was interesting to me is this, you know? This 4-hour universal model potential here was pretty interesting. Let me just delete all this stuff here. Right? So, this is pretty interesting to me, where this asset took this high and then closed bearish expansion candle, or reversal candle, sorry. Well, this one closed bullish. So we have a potential strength switch here where I can maybe take it to this low, right? At the very least, or I should say this low technically, because that's this low. But just these lows in general, potentially, we could take it to. So that was my universal model coming today, potentially. And I know it has to, like, we have to trade away from this C2 very early on in the day because we're opening up within a day, like a C3 on the 4-hour, where PM session just reversed. So you already know it's going to happen very early on in the day. When I look back inside that C2 candle's range, there's like no key level though. On the 30-minute, there's no key level. On the hourly, it's literally here on the 15-minute. And this is so rare, bro, where I'm going to use a 15-minute key level. It's because like when I take EQ of this range, it's like the only level to like continue from, you know? And I only took this because we have a 30-minute strength shift PSP. That is the only reason I took this. Right? This asset trades the gap. This asset trades the gap. This asset doesn't. And yeah, I honestly was expecting this to happen. This is what I was expecting to happen, like this, honestly. But it just didn't happen. I was expecting this to happen because this asset didn't really put the cleanest reversal signature in. So yeah, I was expecting a resweep. I was just entering, anticipating that. But I only went in with one mini, like literally only one mini, because it's still like not the cleanest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I only went with one mini here, like this. Wait, no, I put my stop loss here. Yeah. I put my stop loss somewhere like this. And I only took it this low. Like that's it. For like, I thought it was 3R, but it's not 3R. It's about 2.7. So this is what I did. This is where I thought we are going to take out this high. I just really thought that was going to happen, but it just never did. But yeah, I moved my stop loss here, like I teach in the course. I'm already half risk anyways, or not even half risk, like one mini, like I said. Not really risking too much here. But my stop loss is trimmed in half, and this shit got close, boy. Look how close this shit got. I don't know why I did that, but yeah. And then it proceeds to fall off a cliff, you know? So that sucks. But I'll take it, man. I'll take my 2.7R. Just a really small trade for me. But yeah, it ended up flushing, bro. Like, it ended up flushing overnight. And then I traded, you know, later on. Over here. Later on in London session. Where's London session? It's going to be right here. Go on the 4-hour chart. You can see we still have a withdrawal available. All assets expanding away. Let's pull up gold here. You can see that this asset here is a consolidation candle. And we haven't reached this low either. Well, it's a bit weird, right? So in consolidation, like, it's super weird. Like, this low that you're seeing here, bro, is like way up here. You know what I'm saying? This is consolidation signatures when you see this happen. But this asset clearly expanding. Hold on. Okay, yeah, actually I'm lying because that was not even a thing. Yeah, they both didn't reach anything. Okay, great. This is even better. I was like tripping out, dude. Like what the fuck? But yeah, this is the low. It technically already reached it. It's just weird. It's still weird. Like technically already reached it, but we don't really care about that because oh no, my mouse died. Is it good? All right, we're good. This has to draw. Anyways, but yeah, this is a continuation PSP. Like the best thing. Oh my god, my mouse is dead. Cool, dude. We're just gonna have to use my mouse pad. Yeah, this is a continuation PSP, obviously. We're gonna use a gap as our key level, and the PSP high is the SMT, which is creating that 2-stage. So this is perfect. This is the candle that we're trading. And the confirmation to that was this strength switch PSP. All right. So notice guys, like my last trades that I'm taking, what do they all have, dude? What do they all got? You can tell me. It's pretty easy to know. Yeah, strength switch, right? Pretty simple stuff. So C2 candle. I literally just mark execute right here. Right when we're basically right on the opening price. Because this is basically the retest of the first CSD right here. Whoops. Just like that. This one I did hold though. Oh my god. I was already up for the day, so I was like, fuck it, I'm holding this shit. Dude, holy moly. I can't use a mouse pad, man. And I just went to sleep. And it was an amazing trade. Oh my god, dude. So I went 2 minis. One was off here. Another off here. So that's like 2R. That's your standard, partial. Just left a runner. It's about 5. And yeah, I wish I held gold, but it's all good. But we're going to talk about New York session. I did not trade New York session. So I'm off there. I go break even, which was very close. Ultimately hit our little runner there. Now let's talk about this. Whoa, what the fuck did I just do? Whoa. What the hell did I just do? How do I do this back, guys? Oh my god, what the fuck? Bro. How do I do this back, dude? What? I'm using my mouse pad. How did this happen? Oh no, dude. Oh man, how the hell? I don't know how to fix this, boys. What the fuck? Who knows how to fix this? I don't know what I just did, bro. It's like hella zoomed in. We're just gonna restart. I don't know what the heck that was, man. Anyways. All right, I thought it was like my actual screen, but it was like I just did that on TradingView. But let's go over this in New York session. So check this out here. Alrighty. So I think some people shorted so this asset ended up expanding. And that created like an SMT fill. So I think people in 6 a.m. candle wanted to short this here. Potentially, I think. I'm just trying to find out maybe what people were thinking. So it would be like this, right? Whoever this SMT is, doesn't really matter. I think it's technically right here. Yeah, it's technically right there. So you can't just trade like this is the kill zone. Like 6 a.m. is not really a kill zone. So you probably want to wait for the next 2 hours. In my course, I talk about 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Those like first 2 hours, or like 6 to 7, I mean, are not really relevant, but let's just go over it. So do we have a reverse signature inside of the C2 candle on the hourly time frame? Because we're opening up within a C2 candle. So maybe C3 can expand, right? On this asset, it doesn't look great, right? this deep retracement, but I think there's a SMT fill here. So one of these assets, not SMT fill, sorry. There's a SMT there, so you can maybe trust it and take a positional entry if you wanted to. That's a thing you could maybe do. Ends up playing decently, but I would not touch the continuation because, you know, before you take this trade, you maybe think it's fine, like this. You're going to be expecting to expand, but the continuation, it shows you that it's not really doing that. It's not really expanding very much. So to trust any of this like continuation is kind of bad. It does give you like 2R, and I even think it takes you to the low. Yeah, it takes you to the most recent low and whatnot. So like that works, but yeah, I mean it works, but not the. I wouldn't trust the continuation, right? And it just reverses off this failure swing here, and this is what since price higher again. So this is the relevant thing in 8 a.m. though that I liked. So 7 a.m. creates this SMT, and that creates like this consecutive candle 2-stage. If you look here. Right, so this is already a 2-stage SMT already. So you just need a swing point really, and that reverse signature. Honestly, that's all you need. And we can still, you know, trade lower because we have open objectives, right? Go the hourly time frame. This is what I love to see, like failure swings as draw liquidity. As a draw liquidity, all these failure swings are really nice. And this asset right here is above a high, which is this right here is the previous 4-hour high, right? That is the PSP high. So you drop down to lower time frame, you can see that this asset's in a gap, being silver. It's in a gap while this asset is above the high. So that's creating, you know, an advanced premium discount sequence. Like I said, the SMT itself is already a 2-stage. It's already a string switch. So you just need to trade a reversal candle, like pretty much, right? Back into these lows, or just wait for the reversal candle to close. Right, this has a very, very small wick, so you could technically trade it lower. Do we have reverse signature though? I would say so, right here. It's fine. This is also an SMT as well on Euro. And, you know, if you're using this, I don't really consider it too relevant, but I think Zero pointed out, right? This gap right here, I mean, it's technically a strength switch. I just don't care about this gap too much. I don't use misaligned gaps really at price, honestly, but I mean, technically that's there. I more so just care about the close proximity SMT there, which is like a nice thing to see, or obviously, right? You get your close there. So this could be a potential trade. Right here. We could take that to the most recent low, at least 2R. You need at least 2R there. And then you can maybe, you know, look for further objectives, you know. Like maybe you could hold there. And that would pretty much be really everything for the day there. And then you obviously have this draw as well. The overall daily low, but which you haven't reached yet, which we will not reach. But this is obviously a very nice draw. I don't think there was really anything other. I think there was something here, guys. There was a potential trade here. We could look for continuation here at this gap because there's still an open draw. It happens right here with this C2 candle. Now this C2 candle is pretty large wick, but there's a strength, or not, there's not a strength PSP. There is a C3 right here. Wait, actually, hold on. I think this is actually a valid entry. Hold on. I think you're trading as a C3, not a C2, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go with lower time frame. I kind of forgot. Yeah, this is fine. Like as a positional entry. So you're basically trading C3, right? So the next candle C3, you'd expect to be expanding lower. The high of that C2 candle is also a 2-stage as well, so that's pretty nice. And the signature inside of it is really nice too, like V-shape signature. So you can just enter like a positional entry where you can enter from this gap or whatever you want. Maybe this original CSD closure, whatever. Right? Maybe you took that. I don't know. But that first entry, maybe you took that first entry or whatever. It doesn't fill you in the gap, but if you took this, you would have took a loss. This continuation, that's valid as well. This is valid loss. Now, if you were into this first CSD, I know like one of my students took this because this is a pretty deep enough pullback. It's like right at EQ basically, right about there. Hits right at EQ, so he's trimming a stop loss to this high when we get that propulsion block, and he takes a small loss. Right, that's also valid. So he put a stop loss there. You can see it expands a little bit, and then it comes back and just reverses. So yeah, what did it come back to? Just made a deeper retracement, I guess. So yeah, that was one entry right there. I just don't think there was an entry to catch this move lower. I don't believe. Yeah, I don't think so. So yeah, I just wanted to retrace deeper for some reason, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me, guys. That's my trades. Let me switch out my mouse real quick, guys. But yeah, with my overnight trades, I didn't even look at the charts today in New York session. All right. Pro said zoom out. I didn't know how, dude. I never had that happen. That was so weird. While entering in today's 8 a.m. gold trade, the 4-hour wick was huge. Could you fade that move? Okay, let's look at the 4-hour candle. I don't. The 4-hour wick? No, the wick is not huge. This 6 a.m. candle? It's not huge at all. I'm talking about maybe. Yeah, I don't know actually what you're talking about. I actually do want to update my Discord and see if that works, bro. I actually think that might work. That'd be crazy. That would be goated if it works, bro. I recorded it, bro. HP. But I also did recap anyways. Probably. Dude, this mouse is like being weird too. If there is a 1-hour SMT field, but there's gonna be a 90-minute. I don't care about that. Doesn't matter. I don't use that logic for 4-hour gaps and 90-minute gaps. They just take too long to form. Now, if you're like having a future one of those gaps on the 90-minute and 4-hour, and the candle's about to close, that's way different, you know. Because if the candle's about to close, then we could easily just open the next candle and trade into them, you know. But there's a lot of time left. Like, who cares? It don't matter. Especially for 4-hour. Like, especially. Okay, I think I'm caught up here. On a day you think Asia is clean, can you live stream? Maybe, bro. The thing is, like, most people are like up for New York, you know. Like, there's only a handful of people for like Asia. That's kind of the thing. Yeah, I know AM session's been pretty bad lately. It's just like, I mean, what can you do about it, right? This is pretty clean, but it's not really in the time we trade. We live stream at 9:30, so like this 8 a.m. trade wouldn't even be, you know, we wouldn't be live for that, unfortunately. Yeah, the small time window we trade for our 11 ounces, yeah. I mean, it's just not gonna be like not every single time there's gonna be something clean, especially not recently, unfortunately. Just with indices, I'm really waiting for this shit to break out, man. It's maybe starting to, hopefully, or something. Yeah, look at that non-correlation. It's pretty bad, man. Not even close to being correlated. check while entering, you can just see like what do you mean? It'll be the same thing. The 4-hour candle is gonna be the same thing. The wick is gonna be the same size when you enter the trade and when it closes. Yeah, this is not large at all. This is large, or like this is large. It's kind of subjective, I guess, but yeah, this is fine. This is absolutely fine. Maybe you're like too zoomed in or something. Like maybe you just like looking at price. Like I don't know. Maybe like too zoomed in. I don't know. Something like that. But no, that's definitely good. The first two pictures were the trade you took on G12. YM was leaving fair swing SMT, but with strength switch, you were able to trade. Yeah, so I talk about failure swing SMT. You can use a strength switch. This, what we're like talking about today, is like where you have just failure swings with no SMT. Like that's what people are trying to fade here. You know, it's like not what you want to be trading. But yeah, failure swing SMT is a real thing. That's gonna happen a lot. And there's a couple ways you fade it. And they're all in the course. I'll just go over the 3 ways. So it's strength switch like this, right? Another way is if the asset that is manipulating is actually wicking it and reversing, then we can definitely hold that SMT, right? If it's trading through the low, that's when you might expect SMT break to happen with that middle asset. Or you can just wait for a gap to be created away from it and trade the universe or the universal sequence. Those are 3 ways. But yeah, that's totally different than like what we got going on today, where there's just fair swings being left behind. Because we don't have SMT with that fair swing, Could you give some advice for break-even trader? Be more selective with what you take. Because all you need is remove a couple of losses. Just be more selective, probably. I only have like, how many trades this week? 3? 4? Based on experience, is the type of PA occurring kind of like during recent sessions? I mean, there's like a freaking war going on, right? Based on your so I have 3 or 4 trades past 3 weeks since I only really trade New York game. I mean, yeah, I mean, your quality, if you're only trading indices and only one session, like limited time, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be like that, bro. For sure. But I mean, when price action is good, you might have way more. That's just a part of trading, right? There's gonna be periods of time, and extended periods of time where it's just like you gotta wait. You can't force it. Like, what can you do really about it? You're not doing anything wrong. No, this is pretty much good. Like for reversals, strength switching at reversals. I mean, that's all I'm taking this week pretty much. And then this is the best way to trade a continuation, right? This is what I did today. 2 status and T-fill on the 4-hour though. Yeah, I mean, just wait for it. Wait for clean context, like, clean draw, key level. That's the universal model, what I'm trying to say here. And their profile to support it. Just demand it. Don't have FOMO. Don't, just be patient and you'll be good, bro. Like, literally the fastest way to profitability is actually doing less and just being patient. I swear to God. In QES already took that Monday high. Monday high daily. Oh yeah, this one? Yeah, no. But this left like a fair swing. It still left like a fair swing though. It's happening in a really weird sequence too. where it's like the S&P is being created at different times. This asset just kept resweeping higher. Like these are all like resweeps higher. It's just like legit consolidation. Like that's what consolidation typically does. Relevant times you're gonna charts Asia. Like I was only on charts here in Asia because of how we're like the situation, right? It's like you already know the high of day is gonna be formed in the first hour or two because it has to be. Because like look where we're opening, dude. It's like we're literally opening. If this is a C3, which it is, 4-hour C3, this is the SMT. It's like we're basically opening up. Like we already started to retrace, and like look how we already started to retrace in this range. Like if we're gonna go lower, this range is gonna hold. We've already started to retrace prior to the close, right? So like you're opening up in this level here that we, if it's gonna continue, it needs to happen here, you know. And we're opening near it, so you know it's gonna happen very very early. So that's the reason why I did that today, but that's not the case every day. I don't know if there's necessarily a kill zone for like Asia. Probably like 2000 to midnight. I'm not really sure, bro. I feel like Asia can really just kind of expand whenever. It's just like whenever it hits a key level and all that. I don't know if there's necessarily a kill zone for it, to be honest with you. I feel like for Asia set or for New York sessions, like the only time because you have like 9:30, especially for indices. Like these random times, like 6 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock in New York session, like the volatility is gonna really come at 9:30, so that's the most relevant time. Um, so like yeah, Asia session though. I mean, I guess it can. I don't know if there's a really relevant time for that. I guess RCT says, you know, or whoever, they always say I think it's 2000 to like whatever. It might be midnight, but you can bin that honestly. Did you expect London to be so good? You stayed up, dude. I just be staying up because yeah, there's still an open draw, and I knew we're gonna create a 4-hour gap. You already know when gaps are gonna be created, right? Like you can see that literally as soon as this candle opens, literally as soon as this next candle opens, I know that when this candle closes, there's gonna be a gap here, and unless we just open high, touch wicks here. Okay, now there's no 4-hour gap, but we kind of just opened up and started ripping lower, so you know there's gonna be a gap there, which is a potential short idea. And what I liked about silver is that the previous candle didn't expand, right? It consolidated without taking out this low. So it's like expansion, consolidation to me. And then this is manipulation into the gap, creating that C2 reversal into expansion candle into the low. Does that make sense? So the fades of price supported it. It's just good. So I knew there was going to be something there potentially. $8:30 15-minute GC short. Was there a gap? Dude, what is? I think this mouse is dying too, man. I think that's why I didn't have it. That's why I wasn't using it. I mean, technically, if you're trading the 1 minute and stuff, this is a C2. You can absolutely trade the 1 minute here, honestly. As long as it's not a gap. Yeah, see, it's not a future gap. You can trade it. Kind of hard to get in though. I guess this. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I don't. Hold on. Your SMT fill there maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't take that 1 minute. I'm not gonna cap because it's a gap. You take this right here, but what if it retraces? You're cooked. What if it retraces into the gap up here? You're cooked. So I don't know about that one. But the idea, you could technically do it, but you want the entry to be more of a like relevant. You want your stop loss to be basically on a relevant level. That's not a relevant level. But the idea to trade the 15-minute there is fine. Same idea, no, but one is filled and the other is high low. Dude, this freaking thing is so bad. My mouse is tripping. Hold on. Same thing. Hold on. So this right here is when we have SMT, where it's not initially reversing off of this first stage SMT. You see this first stage SMT like resweeping, but it's technically holding. So the only way you would trust this is if we get a strength switch. But the real reason why this happens a lot of times is because its price is waiting for a specific like time, like news, 9:30, or maybe a higher temper candle open. That's usually when it happens. But yeah, you ideally want the strength switch to happen. But I wouldn't say it's the same thing because this is continuation. The other one's reversal. But yeah, they're not. Never mind. I was gonna say they're both not strength switch either. What time is it? Okay, we're about at an hour, guys. Would you guys make like Figma templates for people who post? Oh, maybe. We'll see about that for sure. Because the way we use Figma is like pretty cool too. I don't know how to explain it, but it makes it super easy basically. So I'll actually see about that. But yeah, I'll probably wrap it up, guys. I had to move my stream because I'm doing something tomorrow and this weekend. But yeah, but I'll still be in the chats. I should be able to still be in the chats and answer questions and all that. But yeah, I had to move my stream. I don't think I'll be trading tomorrow either because of that, what I'm doing tomorrow. But yeah, that was my day. Pretty good. Overnight session for me. I just didn't really trade this morning. There's not really much to trade either. Like indices, nothing. And then I probably would have missed, if I was trading New York, I would have missed anyways. Because I don't trade this time. I don't trade at 8 o'clock most times. That's 7 a.m. for me. I'm asleep, dude. So that's only for some of you guys to catch this. But I'm just showing what's possible or whatnot. But yeah. Hopefully you guys learned something. And I'll catch you guys later. You guys have a good one. Let me go ahead and end this stream.